Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of FoolCraft, and behind me our neutron generators are whirling away, and I haven't made any more of these. We were being a little bit bottlenecked by diamonds, and so I had the quarry running, and now, well, we can make a few more, but I won't fuss over that. Then we had some power problems and had to turn the quarry off again. Let's just pop down below and see what number we're up to. Wow, 5,600. Crazy stuff, and that's because the chunks are loaded. Now, power issues have always haunted us, and I'm not going to talk about it for too long. Just wanted to show you something kind of cool. I swapped the way this works. So back here, you can actually use a comparator to get a redstone signal out of a capacitor bank, right? And so if it goes below this bit here, we then tell it to turn on the slime farm over there and provide the farm with additional input. But I would actually like to get away from this and get our rainbow farm running, and I've been a little bit hesitant about some of the stuff that we have to do for it. And this just reminded me of something. On my hotbar you will see the Star for Travelling. I hope to get used to this item one day. It requires RF, it takes 1000 RF to teleport, but when I'm holding it I can see everywhere. So how do we do it again? Right click to go to the rainbow room. That's extremely convenient. Oh look, you can see all of them. So cool. But yes, over here been a little bit hesitant to get started because some of these are going to be quite challenging, but there are some materials that are relatively easy that we could get up and running that I don't actually have, because the mob farm that we've had in the past has been running with lots of entities and causing some problems, so I don't leave it running around the clock. Now this woot farm is designed to do one thing at a time, which is actually probably not so great. So over here I've opened up a corridor and started work on some mini woot farms that we're going to have. This one is a skeleton woot farm, and this is a tier 2 woot farm, and it is not providing us with a lot of bones, which means we need to make some upgrades for it. But I want to make several of these. We're going to have a corridor going down, and we'll put in all the ones that we need for our rainbow farm first of all, but then all the stuff like Enderman and zombies and whatever, creepers, all the stuff that you generally just want to have farmed all the time, we're going to use that one for, and this one for swapping out things like the Elder Guardians, stuff that we don't rely on too much. You see, it's going to take me a while to get used to this, but now I can just stand anywhere and teleport to where I want to go to. Got to remember that. So let's have a little bones check up, and no surprise to see none in there. That farm does not go fast enough. Now when it comes to woot upgrades, the thing I'm a little bit worried about these is that they require books to do, don't they? So looks like I've got to do some enchanting if I'm going to upgrade that farm. And one other thing to mention, the server room has been tweaked a little bit. Look at the colour of the cables. Got quite a few comments about this, that in a server room they wouldn't all be very similar colours, so I changed it around for this more rainbow-like setup, and I think it's reasonable. But these are the last, well, almost the last discs to be sorted out. One more to go now, and then every so often we'll probably end up shuffling through them all over again. So I spent some time during a live stream setting up our woot farms, and I gotta say I hate leaving it like this, but we are trying to rush to get the rainbow power done today. I'm actually getting kind of confident now because a lot of stuff has been covered by these farms that we've added. Now you can see that they've all got upgrades on. We've got rate 1, we've got some efficiency, mass and looting, and this seems to produce things at a reasonable amount. Now when we go under, this is the only place we can look at this block. So this one is using the wither skeleton, and all added together I think they come to around 3,800 or just under 4,000, something like that. This one is running the Enderman, and these all drop things that we need to keep the rainbow power farm going, although I don't think we need like a crazy amount of these items. So we got the creeper over here for gunpowder, and then this one is, can I remember, it's the pig, yes, because we're going to use raw pork chop for the culinary generator. And another reason I've chosen that one is because it also helps us with our baconator, as that's the food that we consume. So it took me a fair amount of time making all those blocks, crafting the upgrades, putting that all together, and then I realised I've forgotten about one, which is the snowman. So we're going to come down here and build another one just for the snowman, and then that covers most of the rainbow generators. So if we go, do you know what, I've got to use the staff. I can see those ones. Now I can see this one. There we go. That covers pretty much everything. I've also gone in the back over here and configured a couple of these to use lava as well. So we got lava chickens laying lava eggs. They will now fill up these tanks. And I had to do a sneaky little trick here. Can you see how that block has the texture in it, whereas these ones here have the block behind it? Well, I chiseled the block that's behind and actually lined it up. So here you'll see it's in line with the texture, and there's actually a little dent, but you would barely notice from a distance. You'd have to go right up close and inspect. So that way we've been able to hook up two things to this one because it requires magma and the redstone. Now the redstone currently comes from the quarry, and maybe we'll farm a witch as well, and then that covers everything. So bones we are now generating in that farm. Our raw pork chops are in here. The coal comes from the wither skeleton. Neverstar's already covered. We're left with just a handful of things now. Enderman over there on that one. So it's this that I don't know how we're going to automate. We're going to do the snowman in just a second with the woot farm, and then we're left with overclocks, potion, and disenchantment. And did you notice it? Because I didn't. Rainbow, no rainbow. Rainbow, no rainbow. What's going on with that? This half of the room is without colour now, it seems. It's been a while for me since we last spoke, so forgive me if I go over some things we've sort of already talked about. Well, I know that you haven't seen this, so down the end here, there are now two of these fully upgraded. Man, it took a real long time to enchant all the books and craft these together. Well, not a crazy amount of time, it's just one of those grindy little jobs that you got to do. So on this side we got Snow Golem, which is the one that I forgot, and I also decided to throw in a witch as well, and I realised that the witch kind of makes the creeper one redundant, right? The only thing that drops is gunpowder, and the witch actually covers that. But having two gunpowder sources is fine, and later on if I realise I want to farm this mob and I don't want to build another woot farm, then we can swap out the creeper, right? So down here I've added a few of these, and I've just realised sticks isn't on here. How did I miss sticks? Let's go grab some of those. Sticks is something I actually want. When it comes to wood, we haven't automated anything, and I always end up crafting tons and tons of stuff when it comes to wood, like making sticks, and none of it's automated yet. So having a load of those stockpiled is actually a good thing in my opinion. So we're going to add them over here. So we're now stockpiling these, and actually quite a few have come through already, which is a really nice sign. The farm's only been running for about 20 minutes, I would guess. And we get water bottles from this. Now, one of the things we're probably going to do in the next episode is look at automating lots of blocks like sand, cobblestone, sandstone, gravel, all of that stuff from machines, from a cobblestone generator. And I was going to use that to make bottles, but now the witch has actually covered that for us. But it's still something that we need to do for other reasons. And now what I want to do is make a little something around here. So this space has been used a fair bit already. I actually think we might end up needing some more drawers in the future, so we'll end up leaving this. What is that? That's from where I've been copy and pasting stuff, isn't it? We're going to go into this space over here, and what we want to start off with is, let's put down a glass block so we can point a hopper into it. We want that hopper to point into an importer. It might not actually go directly like this. I guess we can do an experiment here. So if we have the importer attached like that, we bring over a cable. Whatever goes into this hopper, will it be exported? The answer is yes, because it's gone. And the only place it could go is into the importer. Excellent. Now I need that glass for something else. That's to hold in some water into place. And also we're going to use a mechanical user. Now these mechanical users are going to be removed from the pack, but the thing that was supposed to replace it isn't working. So we have to try this instead. And actually, might have been better to put it on the other side, but whatever. We're not here to super compact anything. So it turns out, whatever you do, this thing don't work. Haven't I run into this problem before? It feels like a case of deja vu. So I went and looked up the email that Jamie sent me, who has been helping us with the Rainbow Room project, and they recommend using something else altogether, which is a tank to store water in and use the tank to fill up the potions with... Sorry, the water bottles with water. Yes. No. Words. So I decided to move what we're going to build down here to the actual room itself, and that's because we can use this thing to naturally bottleneck the system. And I thought that you wouldn't be able to control this with redstone, but you can actually control tanks with redstone, and probably wouldn't have been that difficult. But anyway, we're going to do it down here, and what we are going to do is install this thing right here. So one of these going down below us using a transfer pipe into an infinite water source. This is the wrong way around. It won't work this way around now that I think about it. So let's put it there and connect the pipe up to the top. So that thing is going to move water in this direction up to the tank. Excellent. Below it we're going to have some water, and it needs to be an infinite water source. So we've got 2 sources either side, and then that thing just requires this world upgrade like that. Upgrade mining, it says. Speaking of words and me struggling with it, what I was trying to say a moment ago I think was just bottles, but I kept saying potions or water bottles. And this thing is actually doing what we want it to. The water's coming into the system from this down below, and now it's changing those glass bottles into bottles that it can't do anymore. So now what we need to do is configure an output. And I had a feeling if we use the Ender IO conduit there, I wouldn't be surprised if it would pinch those glass bottles. But we'll give it a try without. If not, I've got yeah, that one's set to push. I do have a chest, so we could use that as an in-between. So that one will be on insert, and the other one will be very difficult to... Oh no, it won't. We can go to it down here. This one will be set to extract on always active. Let's see what it does. Is it taking the water bottles out? I hope so. This thing has a empty... Okay, so it took the wrong type. Great. This is why we need that chest. Alright, the chest will now fill up automatically with water bottles based on how much water is coming into this thing. And you know what? We probably could have put the tank right next to the potion generator and avoided a step here. I'm probably going to move this all around so it does that. And we take that out and it should now get... Yep, there you go. It's got a water bottle. Ah, but it leaves an empty bottle behind. Okay. Well, I think we know how to deal with that. What we need is we need an importer with a filter on it directly below. So we're going to have to do that trick again with the Futura block, like the one we did on the other side of the room. Well, it turns out this is going to be a lot more elegant than I originally expected. I never broke the one down there. Let's put this upgrade in. So, this is going to be quite easy. We don't need this to interact with our refined storage system because it can push and pull. So now it's pushing and pulling upwards. In fact, I never needed to change this block down here. So it should be... you see, it should take those, but is it? It's not. And I've set this thing for the above one to be push and pull, and it's not doing that. So maybe it's trying to push and it can't pull. Alright, so there it is. We've got an importer at the top to take out the bottles, an exporter to put them back into this bit. And the whole time we've been doing this, I've been seeing the bottles as something we need to generate, like from the witches or out of glass. The thing is, every time you use one, you get the bottle back. I didn't think that for some reason. So, yeah, you only need a fixed amount within the system. And also, that thing does not need to be that. It can just be a regular cable. So right now what it's doing is it's exhausting all of the water that's available down here and slowly filling up the power on the side. But once it's gone all the way to the top, then this thing is only going to use 1 RF per tick. But currently we want this thing to continuously run. So I think what I'm going to do is put a couple of upgrades in the transfer node. I'm such a fool. Watching the video back then, I realised I made a mistake when I talked about the Ender IO conduits, because this thing was full up, and it was full up again when I looked in here. We don't need the import and export attached to this because it's self-sustaining with these bottles. It was just that we had 65 instead of... In fact, you know, I probably don't even need a stack of them there. I could have less. But yeah, there was 65 in the system, so it couldn't put it back into here. Anyway, that's now doing its thing on its own, which is just terrific. And I haven't put an upgrade in this thing yet, so we'll go do that now. We are now down to just 2. We've got to do the Dragon's Breath, which I don't know how to farm, and we've got to do the Disenchantment one, which will be interesting for sure. These 2 over here, forgot to set up the Frosty one. The Overclocked actually just requires coal. So I've got the coal and the Snowball ready, and I've got the upgrades for these things. So just 2 more to go now. So in this series, I'm not sure that we've ever fought the End Dragon. I know we've been to the end, but we need to fight it to get some Dragon's Breath. So I've got some glass bottles, and I'm thinking this sword is great, but we don't really have a bow. The only bow that I have is actually pretty reasonable for vanilla, as you can see right there, some nice enchantments, but we want something modded. So I've grabbed some of these weapon cases, and we're going to open them, and we're going to enjoy the little animation of all of these things activating. Look at that. So I don't know how many of these I will actually open, as we've got thousands upon thousands of these things. But I guess, well, if we've got thousands, why don't we do it for a while? So we probably want to look for something that's rare with a high quality. Flawless, that's what we've got to look for. So draw speed is a thing. How do we tell the damage of it? That's it. So I opened up this thing, and one of the best bows I could find at a quick glance was the Zac. Its rarity is legendary, and we just got a flawless legendary. It's got a draw speed of 2.2. That is remarkable. We just got the best bow in the game, I do believe, or at least from this mod, so that's pretty fantastic. I think the rest of them I'm just going to put in the trash can, though. Okay, we've teleported to a stronghold because I was smart and decided to put a waystone there. And if we wanted to leave this place, we could just with this stone. It's so convenient to get around this world really quickly. Now, when it comes to respawning the dragon, I've got a weird feeling that it's going to be different in modded. So we're going to place down the 4 of these, and... oh, it actually works! Okay then, looks like we've got a dragon fight on our hands. And straight away, one of those right at my face. Thank you very much. Do you know what? The dragon's breath thing that flies towards you is an entity. I wonder if there's something that could pick that up like a soul vial. I imagine that would be crazy difficult. I've turned down my volume, by the way, because this thing always makes a crazy amount of sound. Let's try the Zac. I'm not a good shot. There. Did that hit ya? I don't know. All of the crystals are down. Now we just got to land a shot. And I'm not very confident. Like I said, not really good with the bow. Okay, that did a reasonable amount of damage. So it's not going to be a super weapon, but it will help us kill her. Anyway, we're here to farm some dragon's breath, so I better get on with that. And there's some right there. So there's this stupid thing in this game called the Ender Air Bottle. It might not be stupid, but what's annoying is that you always get both at the same time. So we're not going to be able to get all the bottles filled up with dragon's breath, but we will be able to get a reasonable amount. Okay, that's as much as I can scoop up. It's time to kill her, so we got way too much of that stuff. But at least a stack or more. Wow! Wow. We are close on her tail. Just got to wait for her to turn. There we go, she's going to die. Excellent. I was going to say we can go home now. We actually could have gone home already. Are you not actually dead? There you are. And we get a loot bag from that, don't we? Dev team loot bag. Ooh, there's something else we're here for as well. There it is, a dragon egg. Yes, yes, there is a reason that I wanted to fight the end dragon, not just for the dragon's breath. We want the dragon egg as well. What is going on here? Can I pick this up? Let's open this loot bag. We've done this one before. Yes, yeah, we have done this one. So we're going to put a mob selection panel over here for our woot farm eventually, and you're probably thinking, there ain't too many mobs to select from now, built those other ones. Well, the Ender Dragon, you can't hit her with the mob prism, but what you can do is take the dragon egg and craft it like that. And that makes the Ender Dragon mob prism. So if we... well, I was about to put that on the ground, but I think you have to wait until it's actually hooked up to the farm to mix them together, yeah, because it's not doing anything. So let's go down to the woot farm. There should be nothing running here at the moment, which is fine. And we place that, and we whack it with that. And there you go, we got an Ender Dragon farm. What will that drop? Will it be those dragon hearts? Draconium dust, probably? Ooh, I'm quite intrigued now. Here's the thing. In order for us to find out, we'll probably want to change this channel. So maybe we can set up something temporarily and move the items into another chest to find out. So this doesn't work, and I couldn't put the chest directly next to the dimensional transceiver, but it sets setting up another channel, and actually we can kind of see some of the items we get from this already. I do wonder if there's any others, but those are the 4 that we got a moment ago, and I've literally just turned this farm on, and it's given me all of those, and I haven't really thought about it until now. It's farming dragon's breath for us. That's spectacular. I'm over the moon now. That's great. That just leaves us with one more thing to do. Have you ever been killed by an endermite? Well, I was almost a victim. I logged back in here and I was down to 1 heart surrounded by endermites. Oh no. Well, what happens when you log in modded is it takes quite a while. So you're actually in the world and I'm actually being attacked by endermites before I can do anything. This one right here, as a side effect, will generate endermites. And interesting behaviour here, these stack up, but also when you consume them they leave behind a bottle. And they did that first of all, but when I took the bottle out and put more than one in here, it went all the way up to a stack, and then it kept working. So I don't know what happens to the empty bottles, but it leaves us with one, the disenchantment generator, and I have no idea whatsoever how it is that we are supposed to automate enchanting books. I really don't. If you know, tell me in the description box down below. I will be forever thankful, because we're very close now to getting this thing permanently up and running. We are going to insert, and we are going to extract, always active, and the rainbow generator won't kick in just yet. No, it won't. If we right click on that, we'll see that a few things aren't running. So the moment of truth is upon us, but we've got to go up here, hit this switch which I hooked up and probably forgot to mention. That turns on all of the machines in the rainbow room. Now we're going to stand here and something might happen. Pink generator isn't on. Pink generator, what is the problem? White, you are clearly generating. Hang on, that means... No? Still, apparently this one isn't generating. Okay, so we might need to turn this up. Let's just put it on 20 for now. And are we good? The pink generator's running. I'm looking at it. What's going on? It's clearly working. Oh, and everything else in here is going as well. This thing's only getting 4 RF per tick, though. Oh, by the way, the slime is just not working here because I'll make... Yes! No! You did something. You did something. I reckon, maybe it's not the pink generator. Well, actually, look at it. No, something's configured wrong here. Something is definitely configured wrong. Let's double that. In fact, let's just put it on 80 for now. Okay, because we want to see this thing work. Pink generator, what's the problem? Is this thing... not... Hang on, there was a noise. Oh, stuff's blowing up. Come on. I figured it out. I used my noggin. I realised what was going wrong. Okay, the capacitor banks have filled up. Uh-oh, that's a bit of a problem. Well, I hope that putting max output higher doesn't mess with this, but in theory, the input is coming from down below, so it shouldn't be a problem. So, around the back here, I have gone and installed on every single side a line of energy conduits like this, leading into a trash can for energy from Extra Utilities 2. I'm so glad that thing exists, because otherwise I wouldn't know how to get rid of the energy. So now, when we turn the system back on, these things are going to basically drain down slowly. The reason this wasn't working is because the capacitor bank above it was full up, and after that one stopped, the Neverstar one stopped, and that's when I realised it's the capacitor bank at the top. Now, we made those things visual, but they're basically always going to be empty from this point onwards. Let's go up here. Let's hit the switch. Let's go back down there, and... this could be it, peeps. This could be the moment of truth. I'm telling you. It should all be good now. Come on, what's going on? Have we got the same problem again? So the output is set to 1000. Are you not do I have to do this? No, you still don't. I might have to go around and individually configure all of these, which would really suck. It would really, really suck, because I've spent a long time going around configuring these things. Let's try this. Okay, 3 of them aren't running. My theory now is that that's a different type of energy, because originally this wouldn't connect to it, so we probably need something between the two. Oh yeah, ever so close now, ever so close. I found a solution for this problem, okay? Down here we've got one of these capacitor banks plugging into that, and that actually works to move the energy into the trash can. So I thought I found another problem. I had to go around and change the settings of all of these in order to get the energy to drain, because it wasn't doing it until I set that setting. Now, this generator here has been a pain in the backside. I've been putting in speed upgrades, I've been messing around with the number here, and then I discovered what would get it to go. And there's only 3 of them that are going to need this exception at the moment, but it's really strange. So, we're going to turn the whole thing on, and we're going to find that 3 of these generators are not working. So, if I go and ignore this rule over here, and put it on always active, then this thing actually works all of a sudden, okay? So now when we come to the middle, and click on that, there's only 2. So for some reason, these 3 generators have a strange interaction with what's going on above. So if we change it on those 3, in theory, this thing will work. Okay, there we go. It's that one that I'm most worried about. So ender generator as well. Wait, was the wither one okay? Let's change the wither property. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen, we've done it. And we have to be taking hideous damage while we do this. Wow, that is a spectacular sight, is it not? Gorgeous. I'm liking that. That's it. We done it. Rainbow power. Hang on. Let's right click here. Ooh, 125 RF per tick. That's more than it can intake, but it's doing it, and it's filled up that massive capacitor bank extremely quickly. Wow, how cool is that? Look at that beautiful rainbow effect right there. That really is something, isn't it? So you've had your main course of FoolCraft today. Are you ready for dessert? Because this next bit I'm really pleased with. This is going to be awesome. Okay, so we've got a giant capacitor bank here. It's going to get bigger. We're going to rearrange what we're doing in the middle here so it looks neat and orderly. Don't you worry about that. It's now got a bigger bandwidth to interact with this thing, and we will make it even bigger. So next episode, expect a ton of vibrant capacitor crafting. We are really going to go ham on this one. Now, what I've attached to it is this thing to transfer power down to our main battery where everything else runs off of. All of that stuff will need an upgrade as well. But the real kicker is this thing right here. So we're using the comparator to get a signal for the amount of whatever it is power we've got in there. So yeah, anyway, right, check this out. Minecarts, some of them stack, some of them don't. Very strange stuff. We're going to rely on the book and quill. So that's going to provide a strong signal for this thing to interact with, and that's on subtract mode. So as you can see right now, it has been turned off. So this torch will remain on, and that is going to go into the transceiver that turns on the whole system, and now it runs, and now it generates enormous quantities of power. As that goes all the way to the top, eventually this thing is going to turn off. So it means it only turns on when we need it to produce power. Although I do have a feeling this might end up with it turning on and off quite frequently, which could cause a problem because it's going to fluctuate around the point where, there you go, it's gone off. So now the power is going to get drained away by this thing, I think, because it's been set up to accept energy from the sides, but it's not taking any energy. Well, that bit is interesting, not what I expected to see, but that input goes down to an output down at our slime farm, which I can't seem to see. Down to the bottom no, that's not what I wanted to do. Down to the bottom we go. Yeah, it is on the back side of this capacitor bank, okay? There it is. It should be sending power out here, but this thing is full, I guess, and there's other places producing power, so it's not using anything from the rainbow power. But this now means, okay, that we can turn on everything else in here, and it should all get going. So Woot 2 can go full steam ahead. Let's give it 6,000, because I feel like that's probably more than enough. Ender IO, whatever that thing is, you can have some power. Ore smelting, let's get that up and running again. Woot power, we're going to... Is that the other way around? No, it's just because it's in a new position. That thing's going to be running. Slime power's always on. We're going to turn our doors back on. The loot bags are running. Refined storage is doing its thing. And we're going to put the quarry on at, let's say, 10,000. Quarry, are you happy with 10,000? Are you going to run extremely fast and get us lots of diamonds? I'm loving this. Okay, so now we should see... Well, in theory, this battery get exhausted, but it's not getting exhausted because it's grabbing tons of power from the system that we have just created. This is insane right here. Why can't I see anything? Let's go up here, down to the rainbow room, and what we should see happen is this thing. Yep, it's getting drained, which means it's about to kick on real soon. There it goes! Perfect timing! And it blinked for a second because it probably produced enough power to put it under that threshold. And it's probably going to do that a lot, actually. It's probably going to blink. So we actually need a system where it turns it on when it's all the way down the bottom here and then turns it off when it's all the way to the top, right? And I'll figure out the redstone for that. That's a challenge for me. For now, though, I'm actually going to go back and turn everything off because I'm logging out, and I think it's probably not a smart idea for me to leave this new system running, as we are bound to find some problems. So, Quarry, I'm sorry, we're going to turn you off. We're going to leave the loot bags on. In fact, we're just going to undo everything we did a moment ago. But that is it. I hope you have enjoyed this spectacular episode of FoolCraft. I've really enjoyed it. It's been awesome, and if you've enjoyed it, leave a like on the video. As always, thank you for the support. Let me know what you think about the Rainbow Power project. It's pretty much done, but not quite, and it is dark and gloomy down here, isn't it? Let's stand in the light a little bit. Hope you enjoyed this episode. It was very fun to make. We did something really awesome, and I'll see you in the next episode for more FoolCraft action. Ciao for now. Bye-bye.